Hey everybody, Nick from Match Point Tennis, and welcome to our one-handed backhand checkpoint video. So in this video we're going to talk about the 5 checkpoints of a one-handed backhand that you can look for as a coach to make sure your players are hitting the one-handed backhand not only effectively but efficiently too. So let's go ahead and get started. And when we talk about the one-handed backhand or any stroke, we want to have a really good ready position. Okay, we want those knees bent, shoulder width apart, our back upright, our racket out in front at about a 45-degree angle. You know, there's going to be some give. We just don't want it down here like this. We want that racket head up. Okay, so number one, racket head up, good ready position. My knees are bent. Notice how my elbows are out, and that's going to help with the spacing of that one-handed backhand. We want those arms out so we're not tucked here and turning. We want good amount of space on that one-handed backhand. So if I'm facing you, one-handed backhand, racket head up, away from my body, and I've got that left hand on my racket head. The left hand, the non-dominant hand in my case, plays an important role in the one-handed backhand. Number one, it offers support for the right hand in the ready position. Number two, when I do that grip change here, it helps me as I go to that unit turn. It helps me get my grip into place, which with a one-handed backhand, we want an Eastern grip, and I'll send a link in the video for the Eastern backhand grip that I showed you. So number one, good ready position, racket head up, elbows out, okay, racket space away from your body. Number two is the unit turn. So when we take that racket back, as soon as we know it's a one-handed backhand or to our backhand side, we want to start that whole process. The whole unit turns, not just the racket, the whole body turns. And so the grip changes and we get into a nice unit turn here. From the front, that's what it looks like. From the side is what it looks like, and from the rear is what this is going to look like. Okay, so a good unit turn here. Racket head still pointed up, strings high-fiving away from my body. Look at the spacing between my body. I've got that nice Eastern grip, and my elbow is up. That elbow is up. Number one, it keeps the angle of the racket face where I want it. It can stop us from bringing that racket too far back. Great for spacing. Okay, so there's our nice picture of our unit turn. You're looking for that elbow to be up, and notice how my arms are straight. You can have people bend their arms, right? But when you go down to hit, that arm still has to extend. So why have that elbow bent? Just make sure those hands, that hitting arm is nice and straight. So that's unit turn. That's checkpoint number two. Here we get a good look from the side and a good look from the rear. That's what you're looking for. Okay, so from that unit turn, depending on the height of the ball, you're going to drop the racket head, and the weight's going to come down, or not the weight, excuse me, the body is going to drop, the knees are going to drop together. So when they come together, when I go to hit that one-handed backhand, I should have some knee bend there. That depends on the height of the ball coming at you. If the ball's higher, I'm not going to be bending way low. But if it's at my waist level, okay, a standard one-handed backhand, notice how the racket dips. My strings are pointed to the ground, my arms are extended. That left hand, that non-dominant hand, is still on the throat of the racket as a guide. Don't let that racket go too, or that non-dominant racket hand come off too early. It should stay till about the hip pocket. So my knees bend, my strings are pointing down. That way when I get to contact, I have a nice vertical racket face. So we want those strings pointed down. Here's what that looks like from the side. Okay, strings are pointed down, arms are extended, left hand still on the throat, knees bent, okay? And here is that same shot from reverse. Look at that, okay? And as we go to contact, checkpoint number four, what you're looking at, that's when the weight's going to start to transfer. And notice my right foot is about a 45-degree angle, because if it's not, if it's parallel at the baseline, it's going to lock that knee. Look at that foot, okay? Good spacing on the feet. So here's from ready position three, or checkpoint number three, the drop. It's a contact point. Notice my left hand's coming off. Okay, the weight's going to be coming forward. I have that vertical racket face. Okay, and my arms extended and the ball's out in front of me. The ball needs to be more in front of me on the one-handed backhand because of that Eastern backhand grip for stability versus maybe a two-handed. That one-handed backhand grip is out here. Notice how my left hand, non-dominant hand, has come off the racket. Okay, and so let's look at it from the reverse here. Okay, that's what we're looking for here. Weight starting to transfer, the hips are starting to turn. Okay, that's to contact. And then finally the extension. And from the extension, it's a lifting motion, so my body should come back up and notice how the weight's transferring forward, and I hit and I go up. Okay, my non-dominant hand, the counterweight is behind me. Okay, look at the V shape my racket makes. My racket staying on the left side of my body, and notice how I'm trying to keep my logo here this way. Okay, what that helps me is for contact, okay, you know, a firmer contact, and it helps me control that one-handed backhand a little bit easier. So that's why we want to keep that head down, okay, body turned, and so we can drive through that ball with depth and have a little bit more control of where our shot is. So there's that extension here. Okay, let's look at it from what it looks like on the side. So from contact, extension, okay, head down on the target where I hit the ball, and then from the rear here, okay, and then obviously back to recovery. So those are the five grips, the five checkpoints on the one-handed backhand. You want a good ready position, okay? Non-dominant hand on the throat, right racket head up. We're gonna turn, look at that great spacing, the unit turn. Step number 2, racket drop is checkpoint number 3. Point of contact or contact point, checkpoint 4, and extension, checkpoint 5. So if you're looking to improve that backhand, look at the 5 checkpoints that I just gave you, and I guarantee you're going to play better tennis.